Shan, even though there is all that SDNY and investigations ongoing here in Washington, might Trump's team still consider this a bit of a victory because their client managed to escape a one-on-one face-to-face interview with Bob Mueller?
Well, that was certainly a good call on their part, and it might be that they just want to keep him uninformed at the moment and keep the party going so he doesn't tweet. But the legal fund's really just beginning, because now comes the question of what is it that Barr will not disclose, and there's going to be a lot of legal arguments about what Congress wants, what they're going to subpoena. Will they subpoena Mueller? Can the White House still assert executive privilege, given that many of the witnesses have already testified, arguably waived the privilege, although their attorneys will now be quick to say, no, we reserved that right. So there are a lot of legal battles coming down the pike.
And speaking of Congress, there are some lawmakers who have commented thus far. Let's listen.
The report needs to be released as fully as possible, as soon as possible to Congress, because it's our job to conduct oversight. It's entirely possible that there was evidence of misdeeds, of inappropriate, even unpatriotic behavior that did not rise to the level of a chargeable offense, either because the president under DOJ policy cannot himself be indicted while serving in office, or because these were, untoward, inappropriate things that deserve oversight and sunshine, but that did not rise to the level of a crime.
This isn't national security, isn't endangered here. These aren't nuclear codes. We're not revealing any sources or methods. This is a political conversation, a political debate. And I've always said this should be released. All of this information should be released. Much of our committee work should be released. I think it's important for the American people to have access to all of this. And one of the reasons is if the Mueller report were redacted, if any paragraph or any sentence in that were redacted, I'm afraid that people would point to that and say, look, that's where the collusion is. They're just not showing it.
So, Caitlin, while the Mueller report may be done, is this really just the beginning for the political debate to really, go into high gear?
Well, and you've seen what we've heard from these lawmakers so far. Republicans saying this is a vindication for the president, that he's been exonerated by the fact that no one was indicted yesterday from the special counsel. And then Democrats who have built, some of them who have built this up as was going to be this big bombshell, trying to say, well, we're waiting to see what the documents say. We want to see not only what Mueller has to say, but also what the underlying evidence here is. And that could lead to us subpoenaing those documents or even the special counsel himself. So it's really still setting us up for this fight that we've had and that we've seen throughout Washington. And we know that this investigation, regardless of what is in this report, and we see has really shaped the president, his presidency so far. It's changed everything from not only how he interacts with certain lawmakers, but also who works in his administration, who the attorney general is. That's why Jeff Sessions is no longer leading the Justice Department, and Bill Barr is there today reviewing this report. And it really has changed so much, but you're going to continue to see that political divide from Republicans and Democrats continue to go on as we wait to find out what the principal conclusions in this are.
And Cara, is this buckle up because there's going to be quite the widening divide between the executive, branch, Congress, DOJ, all of it?
That's right. I mean, I think we're going to see it all come to a head, and there's going to be the argument about executive privilege. There's going to be, arguments about grand jury material. But what is interesting here, I think, is the Democrats are going to take a page bit from the Republican playbook. The Republicans, when they were in control of the House, Devin Nunes had, pushed to get all 800,000 pages of documents related to the Hillary Clinton's email investigation was made public, and that was, sort of an extraordinary move. He made similar demands of the Justice Department under the FISA warrants. And so we've seen already some Democrats keeping track of those moves all along, kind of laying the foundation, saying, well, when the tables turn, we're going to do the same thing. So I think we hear that a lot from Chairman Adam Schiff, the Intelligence Committee on the House, and he's one of the people that's out there championing, saying, we want to see all the information, we want to see all the underlying information.
Shan, what are your burning thoughts, upcoming? What's next, potentially?
I think...
besides hearing what's in the report.
Right. Besides that, the Attorney General...
Right.
I think he's sort of doing
a great conversation, nonetheless.
The Attorney General is doing a hurried, slow walk of this. He's very quick to say he's going to possibly even brief Congress this afternoon, but he has the power of the editorial position, because this concept of what are the principal conclusions, that's not a legal definition. That's up to him.
Do you see him doing that?
Be watered down. I think it'll be a little bit watered down, and also, of course, there's a lot of counterintelligence issues still going on. So he could easily say, oh, there's a lot here that I can't really talk about.
And that's a big thing here. The White House wants to see this before it goes anywhere else. The president hasn't said anything yet, but we know that for the past 2 weeks, he's been quizzing his legal team day and night, asking them, when is this investigation going to be over and what is this report going to look like? The president is heavily invested in this for obvious reasons. So the White House wants to get their hands on this report before it goes to anyone else.
But would it influence Barr and how he deciphers this report and what he makes a decision on, is being released or not?
Well, so far the White House has said they're going to do whatever Bill Barr wants to do. That's totally up to him. But of course, there's a chance they could exert executive privilege over some of those conversations between the president and aides that could be in this report. So they want to have some influence over this report and help shape what comes out.
And I think there's some confidence on the part of the White House that they may be in a mind link with Bill Barr on this.
All right, we'll leave it there. Shan, Caitlin, Kara, good to see you all. Thank you.